All right, we're out here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. It is bright and early, well, cloudy and early. Test day, about to take the car on track for the first time and do the brake bed in. So the series of kind of slowdowns just to get the brakes in good shape. So let's see how that goes. Just took the car on track for the first time and did the bed-in procedure. I think it went well. I was able to stop. The brakes felt pretty good. I couldn't get down to 5 miles an hour, like it said, because cars were just coming up behind me left and right, wanting to pass. So it was kind of unsafe to be going that slow. So I'm just waiting for my next turn on track and gonna push it some more. Really start to learn this track before tomorrow, which is qualifying in the race. All right, morning. It is Saturday. Race day, first ever race day. I'm in the car now, just warming it up. Super nervous, excited. There's a few mishaps getting to the track. So number 18 was taken. I had updated it in the system and it didn't tell me, and I don't know. So I had to ask for white tape and update it to 118. That wasn't taken. So now car 118. And let's see what else. Yeah, a few other things, but basically we're here at the track. People are showing up, everyone's getting their cars ready. And first session is qualifying, so yeah, here we go. So tired. It's now a couple hours until my first race, or maybe an hour, but it's about 3 hours past qualifying. So coming down from adrenaline, super tired. Wish I could take a nap, but I got to start drinking some coffee and getting ready for race number 1. Let's go. All right, it's go time. First race, just a few more minutes. I'm nervous, I'm excited. Let's see how it goes. All right, here we are, lining up to get ready to go on track for race number 1 at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. At this moment, the nerves have kind of settled. I'm in the car, I'm ready to go. I'm very nervous prior to the race and the race weekend, but once I'm in the car, at this point, it's all focus. So there's 34 cars on track, which is a huge field. I am in group 3 out of 7 groups. And all of us are on track. Here's the splitter splitting us up for the parade lap before the rolling start. So 34 cars on track and 5 in my particular class. So basically you're on track with comparable cars, lots of Miatas, but not only Miatas. And you're not racing all of the other cars, you're only racing the ones in your class. So while you're on track, and you of course have to manage the traffic, you're amongst a bunch of cars, but on paper you're only racing against those in your class. And so I am in the SSM class. It stands for Showroom Stock Miata. It is basically the least form of modifications of all of the cars on track. It is
almost bare bones stock Miata, so no added power, just some suspension modifications, and pretty much it. Whereas the other cars, you start to see upgraded engines, new air intakes, just all kinds of things that add power and torque. Whereas us, we are the low bucks, low people on the totem pole out on track. But it really doesn't matter because you're on par with the other folks in your class. So it adds for an interesting dynamic. Sort of like if you've seen IMSA racing on TV, there's different classes, the GT cars, the prototype cars. It really becomes part of the race. Although you're not racing those faster cars or those other cars on paper, they still are part of the strategy. So, you know, I have not had much time on this track. This is my first weekend racing here. Obviously I practice on the sim, but this is a big moment for me. My first ever real car race, doing a parade lap, putting heat in the tires, doing all the things that race car drivers do. I'm doing it here. So it's really a surreal time for me. Coming around the oval. We don't race this part of the oval, but for the start lap, they line us up here so we can get a rolling start in the oval. The flagger, the start-stop flagger who waves the green flag, he really wants to see us tightly bunched up. If we're not bunched up as a group, he'll wave off the start and we'll have to go around again. So coming around the bend here, you can't see him, but he's in the distance, about to wave the green flag. And there it is, green flag. Holy shit, I'm in my first car race. Better hold on tight. At this moment, fully focused, no thoughts, just pure adrenaline and awareness. Take this bend at around 85 miles an hour. You can feel the tires skidding out. Pushes you out wide. Now coming into the hardest braking point of the track. Downshift from 4th to 3rd, 3rd to 2nd. Car over there on the right, he didn't have a good day. So my Miata struggles like crazy up this hill. Gotta leave it in 2nd and then shift into 3rd before I get to the crest, so I lose momentum. I'm still getting familiar, or really I'm unfamiliar with the cars in my class. So later in the day, and the following day, a little mistake there sends me out wide. I become familiar with those I'm racing against, but this being my first ever car race, and with 34 cars on track, I just wasn't positive I wasn't sure which cars I was racing against. But my main focus in this race, and really all weekend, was to finish the races and finish them cleanly. To be a good competitor on track. I was not out there for any trophies, no awards, just good, clean, hard racing. So about to conclude my first lap, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Alright, race 1 complete. That was fun. That was really fun. I'm pretty sure I came in last in my class. What also struck me as odd was one of the guys who was walking around, basically after the race, everyone parks an impound and opens their hood, and it allows you to go around and check other people's equipment, other people's cars, their engines, their whatever, in case someone looked suspiciously quick and wanted to protest. And so, yeah, one of the guys who was working for SCCA, one of the tech guys, pointed out a few things on my car that looked a little iffy, which I didn't know about because I got the car inspected and teched, so all of that should have been found. For example, instead of the blinker lights or the fog lights or something, there's just like an opening for air to come through. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, I'll get that fixed, no problem. The car was teched. I've been going off the word of other people who have been racing in the sport and who, you know, who have worked here for a while, so no one said anything. Fine, I'll get that fixed. But he also said that, like, some people thought that I was a little quick, like suspiciously quick out there. And I was like, wait, what? Like, who? And then I looked at the results and I came in dead last. And I had the slowest time out of anyone in my class. So I don't know what the heck he was talking about. But had I come in first or been a lot quicker in actuality, then, you know, it gives them the right to protest. But I wasn't, so I found that very strange. Anyways, race 1 complete, day 1 complete. It's been a fun day, and yeah, let's have some more fun tomorrow. 2 more races to go. All right, back at the hotel. Just gonna take it easy. It's only 5 o'clock, so still got a little bit of the evening to enjoy and prep for tomorrow. It's crazy how many moving parts there are to this. Like, already today, I have, for a moment, thought I lost something. Like, when we got to the track, I couldn't find my logbook. I didn't need my logbook, but I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. And we're looking all over the truck, like taking everything out of our bins that we have, and then I realized it was at the bottom of the box that was holding my helmet. And then later I couldn't find my tire pressure monitor, and just like getting back, I just like losing stuff all the time. So we need a better organization system. There's just so many things that you bring with you to the track, and we don't have like a proper trailer. Like, the setups that some people have, or that a lot of people have, are just unreal. It's like, no matter what setup you have, someone else has an even bigger and better one. I mean, there are literally like 18-wheeler trucks, massive RVs that are hauling massive trailers that stack double-decker cars with like tires lined up front to back, with full-on garage layouts with like tool sheds and cabinets and just crazy stuff that you'd see that would be like nice for even a garage. And we're here with, you know, a U-Haul pickup truck without even, you know, with just 2 seats in it, and a couple bins that we were using to carry everything. So yeah, there's a ways to go to kind of better our organization system, but it's a learning experience. Everything about this is new, and like every time we do it, it's like, oh, that's how people do it. Oh, this is how, just all learning experience. So can't really ask for anything more other than, you know, for it to keep going how it's going. So see you guys tomorrow.
Lining up again for race 2. You'll notice I'm trying to put heat in the tires and the brakes. The best way to do that is to speed up, accelerate, and then brake really hard. Accelerate and brake really hard. Weaving in and out doesn't do a whole lot to add heat to the tires, so I'm told. It does more to kind of clean the tires if they go off track, if they got stones or whatever, but the best bet is to accelerate and brake really hard. And you'll notice people really floor it up the hills here to put heat in the rear tires, and then hard on the brakes, downhill, ride the brakes, get heat in the front tires. You don't want to be caught with cold tires or cold brakes, especially on the first lap, turn 1, or I guess in this case turn 3, the hard braking zone. You can run into some big trouble, and later on you'll see trouble I ran into in that turn. So I'm, I think, a bit more comfortable after having 1 race under my belt. I'm more aware of the cars in my track. So again, I'm out there with 5 cars in my class. That white car ahead, he was just super quick. This blue and orange car to my right is in my class. The other cars in my class are somewhere around me, but I'm not exactly sure from this angle. This is definitely a adrenaline-filled moment. This is like the moment when you're going up on a roller coaster, ascending to the very peak. You know what's coming, but at the same time, you're questioning, am I ready for it? Can I handle this? I don't really have a choice. I have to do this. Except the difference of a roller coaster is, in that case, you're not in control. Here, you're in full control of your car, at least in theory. Green, green, green. Here we go. So I'm looking ahead, but also looking behind. The blue car behind me is in my class. The 91 car behind me. And I end up having some incredible battles with him during this race. And I'll try to show you guys the highlights of that. So here we are coming into that hard braking zone. It's kind of at an angle here, so gotta let this guy pass. This guy to my right ahead, he's also in my class. The guy without a roof. Now, what I learned fairly quickly over the weekend was kind of this corner, for example, is a really good overtaking spot, and I would continuously leave the door open. Now, I think I got better at that as the weekend went on, but what I struggled with for most of the weekend was knowing which cars to let by. You know, if a faster car is behind you and they're not in your class, they're in a faster class, it makes sense to let them by. It's silly to hold them up because you're just slowing yourself down by defending, and you're slowing them down by not letting them pass. And you're not racing against them. So the best bet is to let them pass. The trouble lies in the fact that sometimes a car in your class will be right behind them. So you have to know, is there a guy that I'm racing 2 or 3 cars back behind the car that's faster that I should let by? And if so, where's the right place to kind of, I mean, you're not letting them pass, but you're not defending. It's their job to get around you. You want to stay on your racing line and race your race. But if you know classes, someone's behind you in a faster class, there's no point defending. So in this turn coming down this hill, it's a great example of where the racing line, you go out wide to the right and then sweep into the bowl. There's a lot of camber on the inside of the bowl that you can kind of tuck into and shoot out right here. But as I learned quickly, a lot of people overtake on the inside in that bowl. And so you kind of got to know who's behind you. So here I am approaching the 91 car, who I realized in this race I was a great match for. We were very evenly paced, and throughout this race we had some incredible battles. It was just a heck of a lot of fun. So I'll try to show you guys some of those battles here. So a good example here, the car on my left, he's in a faster class. That's why he is shooting by. He's got more power. I'm not racing against him, but I am racing against the blue car to the right. This is a very tricky corner, especially the Miata. It's hard braking, but you can never slow the Miata too much because otherwise you lose momentum. And as very light, well, low-powered cars, you got to keep that momentum. That's why they call them momentum cars. In terms of my confidence in this car, well, certainly it's not at its peak. I am getting to know the car. I just did a brake change, as I mentioned before. I've never touched any brakes on any car, and I changed all 4 pads and rotors on this. So luckily they worked. Did they work super well? Certainly didn't give me a whole lot of confidence, but here I am running with the car that I've kind of done a lot of work on for the first time. So, ooh, he squeezes me into the cones there. That was a really unfortunate spot. So what I'm noticing with him is I'm quicker than him in the last sector there, coming out into the main straight. But thing I'm struggling with is, since I'm coming out quicker and he's slower, I have to let off right before the straightaway. And that is a huge disadvantage because the most important corner on a racetrack is the one before the longest straightaway. Because you want to exit with the most speed so you can carry the most speed down the straightaway. So I believe what I need to do is back off a little bit before that last corner so that I can get enough momentum, come out stronger, and not be slowed down by him. So what I've been doing is following him, looking for the opportunity to pass, but I'm also not trying to be too aggressive. So here I try to make the move, but you'll see I overshoot it. Okay, so that is a great example of a mistake that I continue to struggle with throughout the weekend. So if you're going to overtake on the inside, you really have to control the braking. You have to be alongside the other car as you enter the brake zone. You have to make sure that you beat him to the corner, but you can't slow down, or you can't be going too fast because you're on the inside. In the inside line, you have to really pinch the turn and go slower. So you have to kind of outbrake him, but also slow the car more since you're on the inside line. And I found that to be incredibly difficult in this particular car, and just in my skill set, it's something I need to work on for sure. Because you're heel towing, you're downshifting, but you're wanting a very precise brake input, and you're off the racing line. So just practice. It takes a lot of practice. Unfortunately, as you will see later, I tried that move again, and I didn't get so lucky. By the way, behind this orange car, which is in a different class, he's just spitting out exhaust and fumes. My car was covered in gas. I think it was gas after this race. So back up with the blue car, go a little wide there. But yeah, it's crazy intense out there. Having a blast. So here I'm going to try to make a move on the inside, and you'll see I was quite unsuccessful. So I see an opening, I go for it, coming in way too hot, car is unsettled, the rear is too light, just lost it. Luckily I caught it though. Let's watch that back. No grip on the rear. Series of corrections here. Overtake, aborted. Mission, catch car, and regain control. That was dicey.
Alright, race 2 was super intense. Had some really good battles. Lost the pack early on. Cars got ahead of me. But then I kind of caught up and was having really good battles with the 91 car, the blue car. And almost lost the car a few times, coming up on the inside, coming back on the oval, or back in the infield in turns 3 and 4. Yeah, just super intense. What else happened? Yeah, dropped a wheel over the curb, actually 2 wheels, deep groove. That was sketchy, but yeah, really definitely more intense, and I finished 4th out of 5th, so progress here. 3rd race coming up soon. I'm gonna have some more spectators besides my wife. My mom and one of my brothers are coming, and my cousin, so have some of an audience. So yeah, one more race to go. Let's hope for a clean and a fast one.
All right, third and final race of the weekend. I have 2 races under my belt. I'm a bit more comfortable, but yet still on edge, still nervous. Anything could happen. Just hoping for some clean battles. I'm starting to second to last, so that blue car, the 91 car that I was really battling in the last race, is to my right behind me. And off we go, green flag. Third race underway. I was never sure if I was really pushing it as hard as I could around the oval. I definitely felt that I was in the limit of grip, and any mile an hour faster I would have spun out into the wall. But it all comes down to how you enter a corner and how balanced you have the car. Just because I'm at my limit in the car doesn't mean that someone else can't get the car to go faster on the same tires, the same exact car. It's really about how you enter the corner. But you'll see I'm defending the inside a bit more here now in the third and final race, just because I was unnecessarily letting people pass me in the prior races. So here I am again, battling with Baby Blue, my equal match as it seems out there, trying to find a way to come up on the inside. If you remember before, I tried that overtake and I overshot the braking. It's the third race. I don't want to do something stupid, but I also want to prove to myself and take some chances. We're out here racing. I ought to be able to overtake someone. And so I'm really trying to get that move here on this blue car. Alright, here we are coming around again into that infamous turn 3. Let's see if I can get him here. Not quite. So I'm not quite up at his side. As you're braking, you want your nose to be right around his A-pillar at minimum so he can see you. Basically, the idea with an overtake is you want to give the other car no other option but to let you by. And in order to do that, you have to present yourself early enough so that before they begin turning in, they see you there. You don't want to present yourself after turn in, because then it's too late. They're already turning in on you. This was super fun, just being right up on his tail, literally inches away from him coming out of that turn. That was quite the rush. Here, I try to sneak behind this other car, come up on the inside, don't quite have it. But again, right on his tail, just looking for that opportunity to pounce, and I have to be ready. Look how close I am here. I try to come up the inside, see if I make it work. Nope, not quite. Little bit of lockup. Fumble for a second there. Again, just I'm inches away. I'm trying to make that move, but I just don't quite have it. I don't quite have full confidence in myself, in the car, in the brakes. So let's keep at it. I know I can't get up on the inside there, but just really letting him know I'm there. Trying to pressure him into a mistake. Faster than him through this sector. But again, I don't want to be too bunched up right here because we're about to enter in the main straight. This corner is the most important corner. obviously flat out here. Get up to, I think I got up to low 90s around this bend by the end of the weekend. You can hear the tires, they are all scrubbing. So here we go. Here I'm going to try to make the move in the inside. Didn't quite have it. Okay. So I realized I wasn't quite alongside him enough to successfully carry out that move. So let's try again. Alright. Here's where things get hairy. Here was my #1 mistake this weekend. The move that kind of defined, well, I don't want it to define the weekend, but unfortunately it left a sour taste in my mouth. So here I'm coming up on the inside, alongside him here, braking hard, coming in hot, and we touch. Little love tap there. I'm apologizing. I recognize that I just came in too hot. I didn't quite have the braking power that I needed, that I wanted, and he started turning in on me, and contact. Let's watch that over. So again, I see the speed that I'm carrying. I try to come up on the inside. Let's pause it right here. So we're still braking in a straight line. I've presented myself. I am alongside him enough for him to know I'm there. My mistake lied in the fact that I did not slow the car down enough. So he expected me to really be going a lot slower at that point once we turn in. And as I turn in here, he's right there. And I was still kind of going in a straight line. I may have blocked the tires a bit. Just, of course it happened so fast, but I felt bad and had to go to the principal's office after. We had to go to contact impound and fill out a form to share what happened. After this happened, I was bummed out, but I wasn't going to give up here. But unfortunately, my car started kind of... Can you hear that? See, that's what the problem was. My car wasn't behaving right. I couldn't tell if it was just body damage, but it was making a lot of noise here. It almost sounded like someone was whining in the car. I wasn't going to give up the fight here because we can resolve any issues after, and obviously if our cars are still working, let's push on. The contact really wasn't that bad, but it was enough to unsettle my car and make me question if things were okay. If my confidence, let's say, was at 70% in general, just being new to the car, the track, and everything, at this point it was at about 40. So you can hear that. I had no grip there on that corner, so something was wrong. And yeah, for the rest of the race, unfortunately, I had to kind of, if I was driving at, let's say, 8/10 the whole weekend, because let's face it, I was never at 10/10 with my inexperience, but now I was probably about 6/10. The 91 car dropped back. I'm not sure if he had car issues or if he just kind of said, you know what, I had great battles with this Gabe guy, but I'm going to stay away from him because I don't want to damage the car anymore. Who knows? In any case, I finished ahead of him. There were 6 of us in the class this race. I finished 4th out of 6, but really struggling with the car here and just taking it easy. Unfortunately, didn't come out of the weekend unscathed, but all in all, I had a great time. Great first races, really intense battles. I took risks. Unfortunately, the risks did not pay off. Some inexperience led to a little mishap, but hey, that happens. I know that a weak spot of mine is taking the inside line and overtaking. I've had that trouble on other tracks. It's a very straightforward move, but it's more difficult to accomplish than you might think. You're off the racing line. You have to beat them to the corner. So you have to get there quicker, but you also have to make sure that the car is going slower because you're on the inside line. And unless you really just practice that over and over, it's hard to get that braking right. So that'll just come with time and experience. Simply an inexperienced move, and it proved to be a mistake. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Unfortunately, I'm just struggling with the car here, but I'll try not to make this the defining moment of the weekend. Otherwise, it was great. I had a hell of a time, and I can't wait to be back out again. I'm hoping to fix the car, give it what it needs before the next race in June, which is at Lime Rock. So let's hope for that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, made it back home, but of course, as you saw, she's got some damage. We will have to sort that out in the garage, in the Gabe Borlowitz Racing garage. Otherwise, she came out unscathed. So look forward to just doing some more work to her, getting her ready for next race. A lot of work went into this, and a lot of work will continue to go into this without fail. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.